May 22nd of 2023 to order at 6:32 p.m. Citizens communication. The committee welcomes comment on items related to Deutschen Pfest. Public comment that is made on an item that is not on the published agenda will only be heard by the committee. No formal action, discussion, deliberation, or comment will be made. Each person providing public comment will be limited to 3 minutes and will be asked to state his or her name and address for the public record. And I'm assuming no one?
Nobody.
All right. So item 3, approval of the minutes. 3A, discuss and consider action to approve the minutes from the Deutschen Pfest Steering Committee, April 24th, 2023. Did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes? All right. Do I have or is everyone good with them? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
A motion.
Okay. Do I have a second? Second. All right. So all in favor of approving, say aye. Aye.
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here last month, so I don't know what you're saying is true or not.
All right. Motion to approve carries. Section 4, discuss only, 4A, discussion regarding Deutschen Pfest status update.
Awesome. So logistics, I'm gonna go through some of these kind of quick. So logistics, we'll work with our committee one-on-ones for the new fun run route, which I just met with Amy and Raul, and they're gonna present fun run route options for us at the next meeting. That way they can kind of decide what we wanna see and locations. Safety and gating, me, you, and Brandon are gonna talk. Yep. So then I thought next meeting, that way y'all all have your homework, and for your committee updates next time, you all have some fun things to do and share. As far as kids rides, I was gonna tell you all what is on our PO. Euro bungee 4-in-1, a rock wall, a super slide, a trackless train, tubes of fun, a windjammer, a whizzer, a vertical rush, a Ferris wheel, generators for all of that, shooting stars, which is like a basketball game, and then staffing for all of that is for Friday and Saturday. It'll start at 5 p.m. It'll end Saturday at 9 p.m. and then our event closes at 10. So it's always the last kind of band, but I wanted to share with y'all the big ones so y'all could kind of see the carnival side of it. And then Raul and Amy are going to work on the petting zoo, the face painters, the characterists, balloon artists, and those type of things for our kids zone. Entertainment options. I'm kind of blind. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. Here we go.
Yeah, because I'm thinking I can't quite read.
Yeah, I can. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone. It's okay. So these are some options that I was sent. La Des Tejano, we've had them at Music in the Park, and they are amazing. I've also seen them at some other festivals. They do Tejano, they do country, they kind of do everything. We had a great crowd for them at Music in the Park, so they were a really fun option. Suede, I have booked for Friday night already, just because we started working together, and I got a few people last year asking for them. So I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. I know they're local, I know people come out and see them. It's either like that or LC Rocks is something I always hear from our community that they'd like to see. So some other options that we see, and again, these are just options. We don't have to go with any of them, but I just wanted to start providing some of the options we got from somebody we're working with. LC Rocks, which is somebody we saw, I think 2 years ago. They bring out a crowd. They're fun. They dress up. We like it. Clip's Journey band, cover band. Gabby actually recommended them and said they had them at Hutto Old Time Days, right?
They're so good.
And
Yeah, it was crazy how good they were. I was shocked.
And I feel like we have the crowd for that.
Brought in a crowd.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I feel like that's kind of our community likes this kind of things, and I feel like it's good. It's all ages. So I kind of thought maybe them Saturday, maybe like not mid afternoon, but like the kind of heading into the evening when it's a little cooler. The Roots Rhythm Band, we had them last year. They were a huge hit. I don't think he realized who we had last year, so he sent that. Departure ATX is another Journey cover band that I've heard great things about, and I want to say Melissa maybe had even told me about them. Joe Hall and the Cane Cutters, they're like Zydeco, Southern, kind of rock. They're kind of cool, kind of different, but this is just an idea, and then if y'all want to start throwing out ideas and who y'all like to see.
I mean, I wouldn't have 2 Journey cover bands.
No, I wouldn't. It's just
No,
options.
definitely not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a trop rock band would draw a great crowd and would be perfect for this kind of festival.
So maybe move forward with one of them.
Jonas Lawrence, Doc Rockers, Donnie Brewer. There's a lot of them in this.
Miriam, you're gonna have to give me all of these names.
Yeah.
When we meet, throw me these names so that way I can write them down.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Has Melissa thrown any names
She
out
hasn't
yet?
main stage yet. She should be here tonight because she wants to talk about entertainment in general. And now that we have the budget to kind of start working on it, she threw me out one. Let's see. Let me actually tell you. I feel like did I teams it to you, Gabby?
Is it the American Idol?
There was an American Idol guy, and then there's another one she shared. If she comes, we'll
Yeah,
ask
American
her.
Idol could draw people out just whether he was a big name or not, just because.
Jonathan, do you remember
Idol's a
who
big
he
name.
was? No, it wasn't you who watched American Idol. It's Baze who watches it.
I watch
remember her
it.
talking
I
about
watch
it.
it,
I
but
think
I
he's
can't
from
remember.
Hutto originally.
Yes.
That's,
How about that?
at least that's what I heard. I don't know his name or.
But I do
seen
remember
him.
it was like
I
a.
mean, that would be interesting.
I think he's like a rock too.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't remember seeing it on the website, so I was a little confused when I was looking at it. But yes, I think so.
Like, did he get very far?
Oh
think so.
no, it's a
Or-
different artist, not the American Idol.
Oh, not
guy.
the American Idol.
I'm looking
I
for
don't
it.
know.
I don't have either.
I don't
When
either.
Melissa comes, we'll have her share.
Yeah.
So, like, the other thing that I mean, if we're talking about the main stage, I think we need more bands because there was. I actually went home early one day because there was just too much of a break and there wasn't anything else to do.
See, what's hard is when you have those big bands, they need longer time to load
Yeah.
in. So that's why we tried last year to do like the Stein holding contest and the pretzel eating contest kind of in between those. I also saw a keg run that people like push a keg, although like a race, and then they fill. So our kind of thought was to like add in some relay kind of like fun things for like we'll do a kids
Just
version
in
and an
between.
adults version in between. That way it feels less.
Do a root beer keg for the kids.
Well, see, that's what we were trying to think of. Like, so actually, Addison puts on a great Oktoberfest, and so I've been creeping on their website, and they do that. They do a bunch of really cool. So they do a kids version and an adult, and I was like, oh, those are kind of fun.
Yeah.
And could be totally free. Doesn't have to like cost of supplies doesn't have to be crazy. So I was trying to think of other ways we could do some contests and entertainment that doesn't feel like you're sitting there waiting. So I'll share those with y'all. I've emailed with that Addison contact to see kind of what they do and like get ideas because they do a whole relay thing, which I think would actually be really awesome. Yeah, if y'all think of bands, I'm gonna meet with Kelly and Melissa. I think at the end of next week. So we'll start kind of looking at other bands. These are just some options we got. We worked with somebody to help us book bands for Slice. And these are just some contacts he did have. I do think the one of the Journey covers would be fun. I think we have definitely a crowd for that. Yeah, just let me know if y'all think of people.
Is the Salina cover band Viri Vita Banda? They're already doing music in the park, right?
No, they're not doing music in the
Okay.
park this summer. I love them.
I felt like they had a pretty good
They do
crowd.
have a
you
good
know?
crowd.
Did
Um,
they? I can't remember. Did they have a big crowd?
They had a
They-
great card.
Yeah.
You know, I think
they're
we had
pretty
them
interactive
early.
Too, so.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
pretty
I saw them
early.
on Blues on the Green, and it was great.
Yeah, yeah. And every time they've been up here for music in the park, they've done really well. So.
We're in a good music city.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed them. I liked them. I didn't get to hear them enough as I wanted to last year.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember.
well, and I think if we put them in an evening spot too, I
Yeah.
mean, you're bound to get like a crowd. So
Yeah.
maybe with that and a Journey cover.
Yep.
And okay.
When do
I
we
think those
open
two.
on Friday? When
5 p.m.
Oh, so it's like.
So then we
Saturday.
started the first band at like 6, I think 6 to 8, and then we do one from 9:30 to 11:30, and then we close at 12. So Friday was like our late night, and then Saturday is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Cool. So budget breakdown. Our budget for this year is $110,000. Entertainment is $30,000. Logistics are $20,000. So logistics is your golf carts, your bathrooms, your RV, all of those kind of things. Fencing. Fun run supplies is $11,000. Kids zone is $27,000. T-shirts are $7,500. Promotion, advertising, and signage is $4,500. Shuttle buses is $8,000. Miscellaneous is $2,000. Shuttle buses went up because I know we want to add in an additional shuttle. T-shirts went up because last year we sold out of T-shirts Saturday. Like mid-evening, so I'd like to add a few additional ones this year. Thoughts?
On the
Any?
fun run budget, what was that money spent on?
So that was spent on the arch, the kids zone for it, all of the supplies for the costume contest. I think we only spent $6,500 last year. The MC, we didn't do awards last year, so that was different. Yeah, I want to say we spent around 65 last year, but I like to put in a little bit extra because of how expensive everything has gotten for us. And depending on kind of what y'all's thoughts are for things, I like to just make sure there's a little cushion on some things.
So how much are the
you?
t-shirts gonna cost?
So we'll start getting quotes for them. Last year, I think we spent around $6,000.
Oh, I mean to buy.
Oh, so we're gonna talk about that in another one because y'all
Oh,
get to
okay.
actually vote on what we're gonna make
Okay.
them cost this year.
I don't have a perspective from last year.
Last year they were
so trust
12.
that, you know,
10 for kids and then 12 to 14 for adults.
you know.
But they are also getting more expensive. So for Slice, we just spent over $3,000 on shirts. We didn't order nearly as much as we order for Deutschen Pfest. We did a lot of color on those shirts, but still, it's expensive. Any other thoughts on budget breakdown?
How much, what was our revenue in from last year? Like,
Maybe you would ask me the hard-hitting question. Our revenue in from last year.
yeah.
Let me see where I can find our. That's not it. Our after action. Remind me after this, and I'll pull it up on the computer because it's on.
I
file.
guess like the only thing that, like I said, I don't have last year's budget to compare it to, but
So
the
last
only
year our
thing-
budget was 90,000.
I'm just looking at like the promotion, advertising, signage. That number looks low to me.
So we do in-kind sponsorships for a lot of our marketing,
Oh,
which is really
okay,
nice. So
that's
like
right.
community
Yeah,
impact,
yeah.
those type of things. Last
That
year
makes
we
sense.
did a partnerships with Somos. Those type of things are a lot of the times we like work on partnerships and kind of deals, so we're not necessarily paying into that.
Yeah, that's good.
Last year we did iHeartRadio, and I've asked our communications team to see if they can get the numbers from that last year. That way I can present them to y'all. I haven't gotten them just yet. But my thought too is promotional. Like if you walked into Deutschen Fest last year, we added signage at the gate and stuff, but to me it's not enough. I'd like to like everywhere you turn there's like a Deutschen Fest or there's something you could take a picture on. Addison actually does a cowboy hat, but like it has like a Stein like feather, and then it says their logo in it, and like people stopped and took pictures in front of it, and it is the cutest thing I've ever seen. So I want to do things like that. I know last year we added in a few boards that were painted and people could stop and take pictures, but I want you to walk in and feel like a market, like we, you
The
know,
What if
experience
we,
is there.
And almost like expanding it out a little
Yes.
bit, because I feel like they close the streets down and there's nothing, and then all of a sudden,
You're like,
you know,
hit
there's like a
everything.
little nook,
Yes.
and all of a sudden Deutsche Fest. And I got that a lot living near the park. It's I didn't know they were having this here, you know. So there was a lot of those kind of comments where you can't see it from afar, so you have to get right up on it.
Definitely.
Can
Well,
we
yeah.
can we do some kind of like some kind of promotion to encourage people to post on their own like social media?
Yeah.
Like, to more free advertising, but maybe I don't know, have them hashtag it or something where random people maybe get a free T-shirt or something, like where they can win something to
Something they
encourage
can
people
enter.
to post on their own social media and get
Like
more.
prior to Deutschen Fest,
Yeah,
like
prior
a
to
post your
Deutsche
favorite
Fest.
picture from last year and maybe you'll get
Yeah.
tickets kind of thing. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
or
As a
you
way to
really
get people
can-
excited.
I think we did something like that at Music in the Park too in September, and we could do one in August last year too, where we did like raffles, like hey, come and win 4 tickets to Deutschen Fest. And those are really fun. And then that way it was like people at the event were like, oh yeah, that event is coming up and it's right here. I'm already in this park. So like I know where it's at. So definitely we'll look into cross promotion. I also have on the next slide. So our marketing and promotional plan. The thought this year is we're going to actually create a poster. We've never done it. We've had like baby flyers, but the thought is we're going to do like a fun new logo, kind of like how we did for Slice. Like we'll have the Deutsche Fest original logo just like we have for Slice, but then we'll have a fun new one for this year, and that way we can use it on promotional items. We want to create a poster and a sponsorship guide that look very similar. But the thought is like you could go and hang it places. We can share it places. Like it could be shareable online. We also want to do countdowns on social media. I've never really tapped into our social media. And last year with the transition of Maggie leaving like right in the middle of all of this, we didn't get to do as much social as I'd like. So this year the thought is to like start doing that kind of early, start getting that poster out there, start sharing it in downtown businesses with our tourism. The chamber, they can start sharing it out. We're definitely building a great relationship with the chamber right now, so that's really cool. But just an idea. So June, vendor applications will open and the website will be updated. We'll start putting out the sponsorship guides and we'll start going for the big sponsorships. We'll create our Facebook event. That way people can start sharing it and kind of vendors can be like, oh, hey, I'm going to be here in October. July event posters distributed locally. Fun run route and registration will be online. The finalized event map will be up and shared. We'll start sharing entertainment lineup and creating social media buzz. So once we start booking bands, I'd like to start sharing them. August, ads are due for community impact. So we will do a banner online. We'll do a half page and a full page. Cassie, if you know anything different, please feel free to share.
I'm sorry, I have my police. Yeah,
No, you're all, okay, perfect. You're all good. I was gonna say, I know Katie, but I know we're all kind of working on this together. Eventbrite will go live in August, so that way people can start like buying tickets. We'll do our t-shirts. We'll start putting all of that fun stuff out there. So in August, maybe that's a great time we start like, hey, you can do this to win our new t-shirt. September, we'll start highlighting vendors on social media. We started doing that with our farmers market. I think it's really cool. And then vendors can share that on their social media as well. I think Jonathan shared it for our slice. Like our after action was to create
essentially like a marketing toolkit that vendors and stuff that are going to be at the event can use. Like, here's the post, insert your name here.
Perfect. So that's kind of the thought, is that way we like we'll have vendors ask us for flyers, so we'll have that poster that they can share. But we really want to like start with the social media because I think vendors already have their like following, bands already have their following. So kind of trying to start that earlier than we ever have. And then September, we'll start highlighting vendors on social. We'll start our marketing for Fetch a Ride, shuttles, volunteers. We did a volunteer video last year with Nick, which was so cute. But that way we can get people to sign up to volunteer. That's always a hard one. Event attractions, so we'll have the kids area by then. We can say, hey, we're gonna have a Ferris wheel this year. Like we can highlight those really big things we haven't offered before, and it's all free, which is I think really cool. October, our community impact ads are due, social media countdown, and then increased on-site signage for the event in general is kind of the thought. Any question on marketing and promotion?
So for an event, I can't think of the event, y'all did the QR codes and had them on the sidewalks?
Yes, sidewalk stickers. Kelly, I forgot. We did that for Deutschen Pfest last year.
Yeah, that
And
was
I
awesome.
feel like that was, a lot of my friends were like, oh, look at that, that's really cool, you
So
know?
we want to put those out earlier. So I'm
Yeah,
going to add that to our
way cool.
September
Because you do everywhere, like the
marketing
park,
plan.
everywhere.
Yeah, I think we ordered like 15 and I was like, put them everywhere you can. Yeah, no, they're awesome. And they're not incredibly expensive. And our staff likes them, which is awesome.
Would it be possible to put it like in front of the field, like before football games?
Yeah, we can talk with the ISD about cross promotion marketing.
Or even if
Brandon.
like some businesses are
Put it on
willing
the
to
Jumbotron.
put it at their business location, you know, like if we know that there's,
Yeah.
you know, the food truck area up there, put it in a bunch of different locations.
Yeah,
places
no,
where
that's a
people
great idea.
congregate.
Yeah, it's walk-in
Food
clientele, you know, and they see the sign
All
there,
the,
so.
you know, music in the parks.
Well, that's what we were thinking too. Like now we'll have an actual poster, and then we can start putting entertainment. We can start putting like sponsors, and we'll continue to kind of build that up. And then September, it'll be like everywhere. I want it to see everywhere.
Put it in front of the Home Depot, there's plenty of people there,
There-
so.
You are not wrong. Chick-fil-A, I mean Chick-fil-A, anywhere in Stonehill, really. You could just stand there and
Yeah.
see thousands. Cool. I will add this to our marketing ideas.
And then you could look into, I know like NPR, once a month they spotlight like a nonprofit or something like that. And you could, I don't know if it'd be too late I don't know how far in advance they do it, but they'll like run ads throughout the day talking about
Yeah.
the organization, so.
No, that would be cool. I will look into it.
Didn't KX stay in, or?
Yeah, last year we did Somos, and I think we did CPS Austin. It was Somos, right?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's cool.
Well, it was you doing it, so I
Of
was,
course it was cool.
What's
I was
what's
double
Somos?
checking. It's like the Spanish channel for CBS Austin. Awesome. Okay, food contest update then. So 2 options. I know we've all talked about this. So according to Austin Public Health, if the contest is open to the public and each vendor participating would need to have the temporary health permits, which cost $240, and that means they'd have to meet certain health regulations. So they'd have to meet like the booth setup. That there's a bunch of the extras that would come with that if we want to open the contest to the public trying things.
We didn't have to do that for the pretzel eating last year?
No, because I got them pre-packaged from a vendor.
Okay.
So I know
That's interesting.
it's very unique. Well, and pretzels are a cottage food. If you have learned all these things.
We'll never guess that.
So if the contest is not open to the public and we just have a set of judges that want to that are willing to try it, whether that be maybe like our Parks Commission, maybe they would want to be the judges, or City Council, then it's not required because they're not open to the public. But it does have to be a cottage food. So cottage food examples: fruit and pecan pies, baked goods, so cookies, cakes, breads. Items that do not have to be refrigerated to keep from spoiling. We could also do like a contest, like make the biggest pretzel. We could do it. I just want to make sure we keep a German theme to it when we're thinking about this. But I do think this gives us some options. Yeah. Does somebody want to take on the food competition? We haven't really talked about that. Does anyone want to make this their baby?
I should probably do that.
I
I
You're
can't.
doing the right
It
thing.
was Amy's idea. Amy's husband wants to win.
Yeah.
He wants to participate. He's claiming now. He's like, I don't need to win. I just need to participate. And I was like, okay.
Beautiful. I mean, I'll help you along all of this.
Yeah,
but now that we kind of have some ideas, if y'all want to think about them and what y'all like to see, we can talk about it again next meeting.
Okay.
Is it specific to fruit and
German
pecan pies?
ideas. Yes, isn't that funny?
That's so very big,
Yeah,
like
the
exclusively
verbiage is-
fruit and pecan.
I took a picture of all of the things and I couldn't add it. It wouldn't let me copy it into it.
No other kinds of
Yeah,
pies.
no, yeah.
No Boston cream pie.
No, because I guess those, I don't know if those have to be
That would
refrigerated.
that would
No
probably
cheesecake.
require refrigeration.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Cheesecake
think
is out?
cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake's
It's got
out.
dairy and it can spoil.
So it's baked goods, cakes, candy,
People
bread,
got Yeti coolers
candy,
now. They-
whole uncut fruit dipped in chocolate or candy, coated in uncut nuts, fruits, butters, jams, jellies, fruit pies, and pecan pies, popcorn, cereal, granola, trail mix, snack mix, canned acidified salsa, pickled
Acidified.
fruits and there we go, fermented veggies, roasted coffee or dry tea, dry mixes. Not allowed flan, pumpkin pie, or custard pies, tamales, beverages, casseroles, meat pies, kombucha, baby food, cream pies, or meringue pies, cheesecake. Beef jerky is actually not even allowed.
Wow. I'm assuming chili
I have
is
learned
out,
so much
right?
about cottage food.
Yeah,
Chili.
Chili's.
I was just thinking, because
But chili
we
is
had the history of the
Texas,
but-
Chili
The
Fest
chili-
and
I
maybe
know.
incorporate it in Deutschen Fest, you know,
I
and bring
know.
it back, but
But
I don't think
Then they'd
keep
have
it
to pay
German.
that $240 for each permit,
Okay.
because then they'd be cooking it on site as a baked goods, cottage food. They can make it back home and bring them.
yeah.
So it's a little bit, we get not a loophole. I don't mean it like that at all, but it makes it a little bit easier.
Just
for
different
us.
guidelines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you cook
And a lot less
outside,
expensive.
it gets different, you know.
But I'm wondering what those groups, like, maybe they're okay with 240, you know?
Yeah, the 240 might be worth the advertising that they get from participating.
Well, it depends on what kind of participants you're looking for. Like, are you
Yeah.
looking for
Businesses or are you looking for your mom and
businesses
pop?
or yeah?
Well, because before, wasn't it like the clubs around town, like
So yeah,
Rotary
Chili
and-
Fest was a lot of
Yeah.
like Rotary, Lions,
It was bragging rights, right?
churches,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
organizations.
Yeah.
The ISDs, like cooking class, did it. So it was a lot of groups because they would all. But not the issue. The issue was we weren't meeting certain we weren't meeting Austin Public Health, which
I
is
see.
now who we permit with.
I got you.
So
Um,
who are we thinking that?
I think
Just
more
for
for
the
the public,
participant.
just to like another contest. So like last year we did a pretzel eating contest and a stein holding contest. So this is just another thing that the public could maybe get in on. It's just an idea. It's just something Amy threw out, and we're also going to talk about an art option in one of the discuss and considers. So I think just like trying to add in some more contests. So we've done a jalapeno eating contest at Chili Fest before, and then we did pickles for the kids. We did pretzel last year. So I think it was just an idea. We can run with it. They don't have to. Kind of up to y'all, how y'all feel.
Well, we're still doing the pretzel eating contest and the beer
Yep,
stein,
yep.
2 beer stein holding
Yep.
contest.
This is in addition to.
I think we have capacity for that, and time and capacity for that.
I think if y'all want it, we'll find it.
Okay,
But have we,
sounds fine.
I thought did we talk about that being a Sunday?
We did. We
event?
talked about maybe being an option for Sunday, as like another activity to do on Sunday. I just don't know. I don't know the logistic. I don't know if they necessarily go together for Sunday because most people are coming out there to run,
Yeah.
or
Fair.
walk. Like you're becoming. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I don't know if it fits Sunday. So I think we could look at Saturday, but maybe earlier in the day. Like maybe it's one of the first activities in between the two front bands, because our other contests are a little bit later in the afternoon. It's an idea. We don't have to move forward with it this year. We can move forward with our we can try everything. A lot of y'all haven't seen our pretzel eating contest yet or our beer sign. I also want to add in some relay races. This will add us something that looks really cool that I want to participate in. So I'm like, I want to win something cool. I'll take you on
All right.
this keg race.
It's all yours.
Cool. Any questions on the food contest? Amy, if you want to think about it, and you
Yeah,
wanna
if you
bring-
can send me the
Yes,
APH
absolutely.
stuff.
Definitely not for this year, but maybe when you were talking about maybe something in the future, like I feel like I think of like the Coney Island hot dog eating contest, but having like a brat eating contest, you know? Like,
I thought about
You
that,
know?
but I'm like, where do you get brats from? Because then we have to pull permits for that.
yeah, so
Because
that's
it's open
that's
to
the
the public,
issue, of
so
course.
this is
Yeah.
where we get really
Yeah.
complicated
That
with
would
food.
be.
But that you know
Yeah.
you could build off of that, right?
Yeah.
Is
Oh, okay.
Really.
the Deutschen Pfest
German
brat.
thing.
I
Yeah.
wonder, so in College Station, you're fairly close to Slovakic sausage, and they donate so much, like to the point of by the time I graduated, I was so sick of Slovakic sausage that like, so I don't
We'll
know.
take donations.
I don't know if they
Let's talk to Round Rock Donuts.
if they
Those kolaches.
would
I know, 'cause
donate
kolache's not
over
really
here.
German, but,
Yeah.
but kolaches should
Are they not?
qualify.
They're Czech.
I
Yeah,
was hoping
they
we
were
were
Czech.
making a connection. That's why I went with pretzels last year, because I was
Yeah.
like, pretzels.
Because they're like fruit pastry.
Gotcha.
They should
that
be
makes
cottage
sense.
food, right? Kolaches. Should
Yeah,
qualify.
It depends on
certain
what's
version,
in them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just couldn't have meat.
Yeah.
Well, look.
meat or
kolache.
cream cheese.
The meat actually is called something else. It's not a kolache.
That's the Texas kolache.
It's
Yeah.
a Texas
With the
kolache,
meat.
but technically it is a different name. But I can't remember what it is. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I'll look into what brat eating contest would look like as far as APH, and I'll let y'all know next meeting. Just because me and him more talk about baked goods,
Yeah.
instead of meat, but I feel like that would be cool. It would be on theme as well, so I like that. Cool. Anything so far? Beautiful. That's it.
All right. 4B, discussion regarding committee update.
This is if any of you have anything you'd like to share, just to talk about. This will be more of next time. I just kind of want y'all to get used to seeing these. So it'll go my updates and then y'all's updates, and you're all going to get homework within the next
Well,
week.
I'm vendors, so I'm listed first there. I did meet with Linda Botello,
Beautiful.
who has the last year's vendor list, but I was kind of waiting for when are we meeting? June 1st?
I think so,
I was
yes.
waiting to talk more about it at that meeting before
Yeah.
I do anything.
Perfect. Yeah.
But she's looking to try to get that to me.
Nice. And I have a list from last year too that I'll send to you.
That's all I've done. I don't really know much about what I'm
No,
supposed
I
to be doing,
think now that we're all gonna meet in the next, I think we're almost all meeting next week. I met with Amy and Raul, and they have their homework. But we'll all start to meet, and then that way July, I feel like July will be a good kickoff, because then we'll start having everything online, and we'll have admissions prices, and it'll start to feel like it's all coming together, I think. Cool. If there's no other updates,
I did have one thing, but more of a question
go for it.
about the gates. Remember at the end of last meeting, we talked about that cul-de-sac
Mm-hmm.
and access there. Is that what we're going to talk more about in our
Yes,
meeting?
yes.
Okay, got it.
For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. What's the name of the park we had the community fair and fun run at last?
Finnick.
Finnick, yeah, that's what I thought, Finnick. So just kind of, everybody have an open mind about it. I'm gonna look at maybe if there's somewhere else we could have the fun run.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be certified 5K. It was like 2.7 miles something last year. Maybe something like that. Just keep it a fun run, not to be certified. But different locations, maybe out at Lake Pflugerville, maybe at 1849 Park, something different. Maybe even still there at Fenning Park, but different direction, different course of kind of have an open mind
Like
on that.
Foot
It may or not be
would
there.
cool because it's like it's 3 miles. It's not.
5K is
5K, but
3.1
it's
miles. That's kind
close.
of generally what people that are
We
racing want.
did the year before, but what's hard about that one is a lot of Pfluger Park is either in floodplains, so they go under bridges, or
Yeah.
they go under
Oh no, I was talking about Lake
over
Pflugerville.
rock. Oh,
You
yes.
said Lake Pflugerville.
Yeah,
That
sorry.
Lake Pflugerville, which is,
Yeah, no, Lake
Should be
Pflugerville is
easy
a
'cause
great
it's-
location. We host a race there a month.
yeah, a lot
At
of
least.
events going on out there, races out.
I know in the last meeting, we talked about trying to utilize more of the trails. Is that something?
So yeah, that's something they're
consideration?
gonna start working
Gotcha.
on now, and then they're gonna bring us options next
Awesome.
time. So I want them to kind of be
And
the
if you have a thought or a trail you think would be a good idea, feel free to send it my way and I'll look into it.
Gotcha.
nice.
That'd be fine. But yeah, maybe something different, maybe the same.
Yep.
So I was thinking about the vendors.
Okay.
There was a discussion about maybe charging less for less desirable spots for the vendors. Is that something that?
Yeah, do y'all want to talk about? So we're gonna talk about fees. Let's throw that in that conversation, and that way you can see the fees, and then we can talk about like maybe outer. I met with our fire department actually last week over here to go over all of the safety. So a lot of our food trucks. Now the mouse doesn't want to work. A lot of our food trucks go over in this area, and then we have like food tents here. What's hard is there's a bunch of trees here, and then there's a bunch of trees here, and we need to have those food trucks kind of out. So the thought was maybe doing them on the outside of the trail, over here in the grass. This is your stage. We are gonna have a Ferris wheel and all of those, so I do think our rides are much bigger this year. So looking to kind of create maybe space, or we could even we could move the food zone and the food zone be its own, we could talk about it. We have some options. We just have to think of that park has so many trees, I can't put a food truck under a tree, or close to it. I can't put two food trucks close together. I have to have 20 feet in between them, and then I have to have room for their generator behind them. So it gets tricky when you start looking into like the weeds of how you can actually place. Food trucks and food tents are really hard. As of your craft vendor is beautiful and you can put them anywhere. So that's kind of why we've gone with the layout we have. I've kind of gotten it close to perfect, but it is hard. It is hard down here. And Miriam, we could even go walk that. So you could kind of see it however you want to do that. We go walk it, and then we could even try to move some of these vendor spots and see if we could add them over here. I think there's definitely some discussion.
Did a lot of them need water sources? I know a few of them did.
Food does, and so what's nice
Like-
is there is one literally right here.
Yeah, right.
And
One
then I think there's one over here. And
But
there's
along that
one
sidewalk
here.
going to the
bottom
Gillian
two.
Creek pool, there's not any over
There is because of the bathroom,
Oh, okay.
but there's not a lot of power over here.
Yeah, that too.
So it starts to get a little tricky when you try to move. So that's why I kind of try to keep this map pretty simple and open. I try to put the food as far away from trees as I possibly can. I don't want to stand up on KXAN ever. So just so you know why I kind of make some of the layout decisions I make is not just me being picky. It's fire.
It's too bad there's not access in the trail right above that on the other side of like that strip up there in the
Oh, right
top.
here?
Yeah, yeah, and across too. Like, there's just no way to get in there. That's the problem.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Well, we have that gate open. Oh, this is
Well,
that
yeah, but
it's tough.
I was
Yeah.
talking. Yeah, so
That
I think there's a
field.
trail right behind it, up on the top right corner, but I don't think you can get
Yeah.
any access in there. Not vehicles, at least.
No, it's tough. Oh yeah, no, you can't. It's on the other.
Right.
Yeah, it's where
Yeah.
there used to be a soccer field over there.
Yes.
Cool. Well, if there's no updates. Cool. Discussion regarding art competition. So this was the idea of if we want to move forward with an art competition, kind of setting the guidelines for that, getting y'all's feedback. Sorry, Amy. Please tell us what we're going to discuss, and then I'll go. That's just me being jumpy. Sorry. Oh man.
Item 4C,
I didn't
discussion
realize.
regarding art competition. There you go.
My bad, guys.
I was gonna let you run with it.
No, now it stops sometimes. Discussion regarding the art competition. So I know we talked about this as another possible idea for a competition as well, maybe doing something with the ISD or something with the community and maybe their art being displayed on something. I wanted to give y'all the opportunity to actually discuss this and kind of get your ideas, who we would like to work with, kind of give us the guidelines, and then that way I can present something to y'all that has a little bit more of a box.
So basically, when I brought it up, the thinking was using it as like a vehicle for like kind of home artists or like people like my husband or some who like to paint or like have some sort of artistic hobby to meet other people who also have artistic hobby.
So very community-centered.
Yes.
Okay.
And then to get a lot of people excited about it, to also have have it in with the schools, because then like the kids who do win a prize off of it, like them and their family are going to be going to Deutschen Pfest to get the prize and all that kind of stuff, and then we could, if we wanted to, we could open it up to like more or like have different levels, like if there were actual like
Or immediate.
pro artists or whatever you want to.
Those are not called immediate. What are those called? Immediate. Not.
What,
I know you're
amateur?
talking about them.
Yeah, I don't know the art terminology for like.
Really great.
I know athletes are like amateur and pro.
There we go. That's more what I was thinking. Okay. Would you want them to submit like a picture of it? Kind of what are your thoughts on how they should submit it?
So I guess it depends on like what we could do. Like first year is just kind of have it be if I should have had Grant write this down. He knows more about art than me. So apparently there's 2D art and 3D art, and like you could break it up into that, and then because like photography, I think, because he was saying there were 3 different sections, and then from what people do for those, we in the future, if like you have a whole bunch of like quilters who enter, because there's like the Pflugerville Quilting Guild, you could have a quilting division or
Like different mediums and
Yeah.
categories that people can enter in.
But like for the first year, because you don't know what people do, you just have like very broad categories.
Do we want to give it a theme?
We could.
Like that might make it a little easier.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to be able to direct people.
And then maybe we do we
Yeah.
want to display like winners at the event? Do y'all want to pick the winners? Or what are y'all thinking?
I'm still trying to picture what we're doing. So like, because this seems like an indoor thing to me. Like
So
an
what
art
we had
contest.
proposed last time was maybe like art, and then we would either put it on like steins, or we put it on tote bags, or we'd make stickers
So
of
it's
it
a contest that will happen prior to the
to the
festival?
event. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we
Just
either
like some kind of promotion
Yeah.
for the festival? Then I would say the theme would be like Deutsche Pfest or
Right.
German
Yeah.
or something like that.
We could also looking at maybe having people create a poster for the event. If we're gonna start,
Yeah.
there's at the Hanno Festival, and I can't remember the full name of it, but they do a contest every year where you can participate. They'll put their top 5, and then they get to vote on, which one is the best, and that'll be what's promoted in that. Could also incorporate the community aspect of Deutschen Pfest.
Yeah.
we could also share it on social, and maybe like whoever likes. I think we did that for like the plaza, or our
Yeah.
plaza was nominated into something, and then it went based off of like how many people liked that picture.
Yeah.
So we could do something like that.
And it could even
Could
be
do
a
something small and
fundraiser,
build.
cause I've seen contests like this where you vote with $1 or something, you know, like, it could even be like a
Maybe your
fundraiser.
money. So Melissa had mentioned it, and she runs the Pflugerville Art Council, and I wish she was gonna be here tonight, because I think she wanted to bring this up. About maybe like having her council kind of help with this, since they do art, they know local artists. Maybe that's something we partner with them and they kind of help us build that this year. I don't really know how anyone feels about that. I know it kind of gets messy when you're a committee member and you are part of something. But that's just an option of something we could look into, or if there's another, we'll definitely reach out to the ISD. I know they're going into summer, so I don't know how good we will connect with them until maybe August. But we can at least reach out and see.
Yeah.
We reached out for Slice, and I didn't hear anything back. We have a
Yeah, I
hard
think
time
Slice
getting with the
happened.
ISD.
I think they were doing all their tax.
Cassie knows the
checks.
people.
I can help you all guys.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm like thinking rodeo, like, is it an auction type of thing? Are we gonna sell it at the event, at Deutschen Pfest? Like, the top winners, we got an opportunity for you to buy
Their art.
their art?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, like, could it be an art auction of
Yeah,
some kind?
'cause
It sounds like county fair.
Sounds hard.
Very, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you add that extra component in there, it's gonna be more logistics.
This does sound like something that I think would be good for us to find a partner in the community. Because if we're selling, like, where does that funds go to? Does it go back to
Yeah.
Fortune Fest?
Yes.
Do we give it to a nonprofit?
Does the artist get anything?
Yeah.
Right.
like,
Yeah, it's kind of open another can of
Yeah.
worms
This is,
there.
yeah,
It's
we're
a
opening
creation,
all the
so-
worms, guys.
What if we're more prescriptive, like you said, where we give them a very specific thing and then we shout them out? Like, instead of selling the merchandise, like, we give them more exposure, whatever the case is.
And we do like
Have-
social,
Have we already decided on the shirt?
no.
So maybe you can do that. What if you have competitions that people can try to make the new shirt? You know what I
You
mean?
know, like the shirt design and the poster design?
Yeah, and now you're a little bit more prescriptive. You can get very focused and then build off of that as we go.
Okay.
I just think if you make it too
So then this would
open,
be like a summer contest. That way we could get the design in
Yeah.
by
Absolutely, yeah.
like
Definitely makes
mid-August
sense.
and
Yeah,
start
and
promoting it.
start getting the people talking about
Okay.
Deutsche Fest.
Okay, cool. So then I will bring this up at our June one. I'll bring you rules and thoughts. And then
Yeah,
we'll,
cause it could be smaller this year, just to see.
we could do like a limited
what
edition
kind
of these
interest
shirts.
we
Yeah.
get,
Yeah.
and then we can expand it to other mediums or like do more in the future if it
Yeah.
goes over well.
Yeah, no, I like this idea.
Well, whenever the
This
entries,
one we could make happen.
whenever the entries are put in, I think I'd prefer that this committee choose which design it's going to be.
Yeah.
That way
Yeah.
it's fully backed.
I think
like
so
this.
too, yeah.
It's our,
I
it's our
agree.
baby, we're backing it, so.
Okay. We might do a special meeting in August then. That way I could pick it at the beginning of August and we could add it to Eventbrite pretty quickly. Just FYI.
Cool.
Just because we won't meet until the very end of each month. And I want to at least give the artists some time. If we are we'll meet at the end of June. I'll bring this to y'all. And then we'd open it maybe like July 1st. And then maybe July 1st to August 1st, they could submit, and then we'll meet like the week after vote. And then that way I can get it up, and we can add it to Eventbrite. I just don't want us to
I'm fine with that, cause I'm already thinking
be delayed.
we're probably, as we get closer, we might need more than one meeting a month.
Definitely.
anyway.
Usually September, October, we went to a month.
Well, to pick the design that's submitted, do we need to meet for that, or is that something you could just email all the designs, everybody? and we
Oh, honestly, I could
choose
just
and
email y'all like a poll. That's true.
Yeah, email Paul instead of doing
Yeah.
the meeting, because I know it's really tough to get everybody together. That might be a way to alleviate that.
Perfect. All right, good thinking. So, beginning, end of July.
That'd be fun.
Cool, I like this.
I wish I was artsy.
All right, awesome. Are we ready to discuss something else?
Oh,
All right, 5, discuss and consider. 5A, discuss and consider entertainment options.
This is for Melissa. So I'll pivot and we'll pull this at the next one because she wanted to talk about some bands she was thinking about. She wants to talk about where she wants to do entertainment this year, kind of some of her ideas, and a green room. That's one of the items she did, and I don't have any background on anything she wants to actually talk about tonight. So we'll pivot and we'll discuss this.
I do, like, I
Yeah.
know one concern that she had, as well as some of the artists had, is that, like, the other two stages, there's two other places that the smaller bands play, right?
So
And I
last year was
think-
the pavilion, on
The little
the Gillen
gazebo.
side. So they actually moved from the gazebo
Oh,
to the
to
pavilion,
the
just because it was
pavilion.
bigger, you could actually do seating around it. We did she moved, I think her thought was solo acts,
Yeah.
gazebo.
Yeah.
Bigger acts, so like she did a drumming school and they came out, and I mean there was 40 kids, so those wouldn't all fit in the gazebo. I think her idea is to do both. We moved away from the gazebo and did the pavilion, that way it was bigger, there was a little bit more space.
Free.
I mean, I think the
It's
pavilion
free.
is good. We just have to have some more stuff to draw people that way.
Definitely. But I don't know what her ideas on that were.
Okay.
And I don't know what kind of entertainment she's looking at this year. So, you and her will talk about it too at our next one, and then that way y'all can bring everything to as an update, a committee update as well. But I don't want to make any choice decisions without her.
It
on this
seemed
one.
with entertainment, it was kind of based around being more local. Is that the idea?
I think that's her idea. I think she works with a lot of local artists. So I think her idea is always, if we get them in on the smaller stages one day they will be for the bigger stages. So I think she tries to foster that like relationship with them, and you keep playing here, you kind of build, and then that way your community knows about you, they support you. So I think it is very community driven, which is cool. But
I
again,
think
it's
a
always just been
balance in
Melissa
that,
doing
'cause
this,
it has
so
to draw, like, the crowds have to
Come,
enjoy
yeah.
it. They have to come.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
like a couple of local bands American Gypsy is another band.
Yeah, I
that's
had them out
actually
last year.
played.
I loved
Yeah,
them.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw them at a bar, and I was like, I gotta have them. They're great. So they opened for us last year on the main stage,
Oh,
Which
wow.
was what time?
which was 6 to 8,
6 to 8.
and then we did
On Friday?
yeah. Oh man, if you didn't tell me, I'd tell you. Oh, we did Tennessee Whiskey after them, and then Saturday we did Shiny Ribs was our closer. But we did like a reggae. We did.
Bitty Bitty Bongo.
No, we didn't do Bitty Bitty Banda last year. That was the year before.
Didn't know
They
the
were-
band.
Oh,
were
Nova
parts.
Band. They were our Tejano
I
band.
liked
Who was
Gabby's
that?
gonna have them out at Music in the Park.
Who was that?
Nova Band.
Oh,
They're gonna be at Music in the Park. I like them that much.
So I think what I try to do main stage too is like a difference, and then we did like Austin Polka in between. We did Klein Kunst. We did some of the other smaller acts in front of the main stage, so that way you felt like the German entertainment was there, but that way you could switch out from your big band. So I've liked doing that, and I think that works really well. Last year we also did a DJ at the very beginning. I don't know how y'all felt about that, but I think it was nice for announcements because they're not always making announcements on the main stage because they're moving everything. So the DJ at the front was like, hey, make sure to sign up for the Stein, make sure to get on the shuttle on time. Having somebody at the front who most people are coming in that main gate, I kind of liked. I liked that idea, but that's just.
I thought that was a fabulous idea, and I spent a lot of time around it because I was in that booth. That guy you had Friday was fabulous. He was excellent.
Joe Powell, that's what I
Yeah,
use for everything.
He was really good. Definitely get him back.
Cool.
If we
The
had
other guy,
some
Saturday
other,
guy was good.
smaller acts, could we also use that gazebo that's right by the big beer tent?
So that one is where all of our face painters
Yeah.
and our kids area stuff go now.
so they do the balloon animals and the face painters. They sit in there. My wife
Just
said
because it gets a little loud over there too.
if you don't bring back the clickety clackers,
Well, she's
my
not
wife
coming.
will be
She's
very angry.
banning us.
The tap dancers.
No, I love them. They're
No,
cute.
Yeah, you don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
They're
He's
like,
like,
a,
please.
they're a
save me."
tradition.
She gets so excited when they
see them?
Yeah.
But that's what this is all about. Is like you have a favorite thing you want to come see at Deutschen Pfest. So that's what we do it for, Juan. That's what we do it for.
Polka music.
So if you find polka bands, let me know. It's kind of hard. Their falls are always very busy. So that's why I think we kind of tend to see some of the same ones. So look, now you and Melissa have a. She doesn't do a whole lot of the German entertainment. It's been me the last few years. So if that's something you're willing to take on, I would love the help.
Okay.
I know several polka bands, but they sing in Spanish.
Well,
I know
that's not
exactly what you're
bad.
talking about.
What's wrong with that?
Hey,
We're diverse. We like a
But
little
that,
bit
I
of
mean,
everything
having the polka band right there, it does kind of set the mood as you walk in.
as you come in. And there's definitely some idea. We could, if we found one and they didn't need a sound system, we used to set up the.
Flatbed trailer in front.
We did, but even then, you could just set up in a parking spot right when you enter the gate. There's some options, I think, for like roaming entertainment. So we did that at Slice, and we did like Brazilian samba dancers, and we did a bagpiper, and so like we did some really cool things that was just roaming. So it felt like you had this experience everywhere you went, which is where I really want to feel like at Deutschen Pfest. I want you to walk in and be like, I don't have to go to the main stage. I'm gonna make it there eventually, but like I want to feel like I'm at a cool event. Just an idea. Okay, cool. Anything else to discuss and consider on entertainment options? Beautiful.
All right, 5B, discuss and consider action on admission and vendor fees.
So this is what I'd like to put on the website next month, so that way we can start people. I'm already getting emails about admissions and when we open, so I feel like that's really cool. So these were our 2022 vendor prices. So regular vendor was $250. We hadn't, prior to this, we had not increased fees probably in 10 years at least. So last year was the first time we increased fees. We didn't get really too many negative feedbacks because it's a 2-day event. I think most people understood it. Regular vendors, which is like your craft, your t-shirts, those kind of vendors, are $250. Food vendor was $350. Beer vendor was $400. Additional wristbands. Every vendor per booth that they purchased got 4 wristbands. If they bought 2 booths, they got 8. And then every additional one is $8. Temporary food permit was $114, and then electricity, 120 volts was $50. 2023 recommendation fees. These are just something I put out there. I didn't change any fees. It's kind of for y'all to decide now that you know what we charge. The only ones that changed, temporary food permit is $240. That is set by Austin Public Health. They changed. That's the first time they've changed fees since I worked with them. So hoping that doesn't change again this year. But that is the food permit that majority of our food vendors get. And then electricity, my only thought is $75. We are gonna have to upgrade the park. I'm working with Junior and Fred now to upgrade some of the power. So on the far side of the park, we had some of the issues with it kept blowing. So they're gonna add additional pedestals onto the side where the bathrooms are.
Gotcha.
To kind of help along that tree line with some of our vendors. A good amount of vendors purchase electricity for this event just because they're out there all day. So whether it's for fans or lights or decoration, majority of them do purchase it. But it means we have to have an electrician on site the whole time. So that's the only fee. I said go up from 50 to 75. That was just kind of my recommendation, but this is your time to tell me yes, no, maybe so.
For vendor fees?
Yes, and then we'll talk about admissions.
Did you have much pushback or grumblings about the vendor fees last year? They
No.
kind of just accepted and they were cool
Most
with
of
it?
them were just like, "Hey, what happened?" And I was like, "Hey, we haven't changed our fees in 10 years.
Is
You've all been here."
Do you know if that's on
So-
par with other festivals?
Yes. So we did a study last
So I
year
think
to
that-
when
That
we
seems
increased
affordable.
fees, we looked at others. We looked at other cities for what they are, what we kind of offer. It's pretty on. It's pretty on par, and it's a 2-day festival.
Yes.
True, yeah. It's two
Yeah.
days, so.
There were some people that were using generators out there, though, right?
Yeah,
So-
you can definitely use generators. You do not have to purchase. I just need to know that so we get that fire safety.
Gotcha. No, I was thinking because of the noise. Like there was
Yes.
competing noises, so.
That's what's kind of hard.
And they were close to the stage. That was the other thing.
So that's majority of the food vendors. So they bring out their
So
generators
maybe
because their
that's-
generators are on their trucks.
But
Or
that's
just
one
what
thing
they're
we could
used
talk
to.
about with
It's
the
like
vendors.
requirements of.
If they have a generator, we have a certain, maybe
Yeah.
we move them a little further
Yeah.
back from the.
Or maybe
station
even,
or something.
like, I know some festivals, they require silent generators.
Yeah, like a certain decibel noise, and it was where all the kids stuff was too. So like you were walking in between the
The
kids'
ride,
rides,
yes.
and it was like.
Our kids'
and-
rides had some
Had generators
generators as
attached.
Yeah,
well that parks
so-
provided, so, yeah.
There's just not power on that side of the park
Right,
either.
right.
We,
Yeah.
we have power in funny places. Power options.
Yeah, and that's kind of my question is, did we just run out of like outlets to have
Pretty
them
much,
use?
yeah.
And then plus there's a fee involved, right? So.
So, well, for the kids' rides, we just didn't have enough power.
Okay.
For the areas, all of that was in, and then when you're taking power away, then you're taking power away from your vendors.
Yeah.
And I'd rather them have it and us figure it out. But no, we have a good. I've never not been able to provide electricity out there for a vendor. We're pretty lucky, and I think when we install those pedestals, that'll actually help a lot too, in it being reliable. But what we're not good. So we used to offer 220 volts. We would have maybe one person use them, but we had a lot of issues with them tripping, and that one's not going to be fixed to the same limit as the other ones will be fixed. So they're not a huge demand, so I just left them off the list this year. I don't think that's something we'll purchase. Majority of the 222, they require an adapter, and a lot of the food vendors don't come with them. So like last year, we had a staff member spend 4 hours on just trying to help one food vendor, which we love to do, but our staff has 9,000 other things to do. So it was kind of tough, so I don't want to put staff in that predicament again. So my thought is, and a lot of our like slice, we didn't offer electricity at all. Every single vendor either brought it themselves or didn't have it.
Which is not unreasonable to ask of vendors. If you
Yeah.
look at other events, majority of them say we will not provide water, no power, figure it out.
Right.
And they do it.
Yeah.
And they comply. So,
Yeah, I just like us to be extra. I like to be kind. So
Yeah.
we try, and I think it's a great park. I think we get a lot of vendors too. Have been here coming for 20 years. So I don't ever want to take anything away that. But it was just one vendor paid for that 220 last year, and then we had a lot of issues with it. So that's just the only reason I left it off the list.
So being my first year, what are the booth sizes?
12 by 12s.
So beer vendor, everybody gets a 12 by 12.
So beer is a little different because they buy 4 or 5. So like Rotary buys, I think 5 beer booths, and it covers their whole tinted area, and then they do one in addition. Last year we did our nonprofit, so council chose Friends of Paws, and they purchased 2. So those were 24 by 24. But yeah, most people do single for like crafts and arts. We get a lot of double for food, just for safety, and that way they have some room. Yeah, and I think the temporary food permit, that going up in price might be some grumbling this year, but unfortunately I don't set that. So that was kind of why my recommendation is to not increase food, because I think they're all going to be like, oh crap, we're paying $240 instead of $114 this year. So that was just
Yeah,
a
because
thought.
it's $600.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
It does. It gets pricey.
So if a food truck, for instance, already has their a food permit, that
So if they have the Pflugerville food permit,
gotcha.
Then they don't have to.
That supersedes this.
Yes.
Okay.
But if they don't have a Pflugerville specific, they have to buy the
Yes.
temporary. Gotcha.
which majority of our vendors do not.
Right.
So that is what is really difficult. Probably like 5 or 6 vendors that have it that we use for almost every event. So those are great, and they'll come out to Deutschen Pfest, but a lot of the other ones, and the tent ones don't. There's no way to get a temporary for them, or permanent, so they always have to get a temporary. Yeah. Okay, any questions, any recommendations for fees?
I think that's reasonable, since, let's keep it what it was last year across the board, except for it, because they're gonna have to absorb that temporary food permit, so do that this year, and maybe we can go up next year.
Make a motion on that.
Pardon?
I guess we'll make a motion at the very end.
For the vendor
For
fees?
yeah. We'll make
Well, maybe we
we'll
should
talk
do it
admissions and then
separately
discuss it.
rather than have both. I mean, still vote on them separately.
yeah, no, we
Okay.
can do that.
Okay.
Was this where you were gonna discuss the cheaper fee for other areas or no?
Yeah, so you want to discuss that?
Well, I mean, I've done trade shows in my past life, and so basically, we have a prime spot, you pay for that prime spot.
Yeah,
So, and we'd kind of talked about it at the first meeting, you know, some people are getting stuck way down, you know, kind of out of the way. Maybe, I don't know if you want to increase certain spots because they're like right up front. I mean, the best spots are of course when you're coming through the gate and you see
traffic.
they're right there. That's
Like
high
when you go
traffic
to a
stuff.
concert closer to the stage is more expensive, but
yeah,
nosebleeds
I agree
are
with that
cheaper.
too, cause like with Expo, with the Pflugerville Expo, we did the same, like corner spots are more expensive, yeah.
And if you're buying, and if you're allowing some of the vendors to buy 3 or 4 spots, I mean, if they're in a prime spot and they're buying 3 of it, that's 3, there's 2 other spots that somebody can't.
What do y'all call the different spots? Like when, so
Premium.
we do like our
Premium,
vendor application.
Premium spots?
Yeah.
Premium or
Premium?
We've
corner.
got
or-
premium, corner,
general.
yeah.
I'm just trying to think if we do our vendor application, like if there's gonna be a way that they can either click off, like, hey, we're premium is this cost.
So like
General
premium,
business cost.
like premium vendor 300, regular vendor 250.
Yeah,
I mean, it's $50.
I was like,
High traffic
yeah,
It's
I mean,
something.
if you're gonna make all of them pay the same amount and then someone's out in the boonies and then someone's
Yeah.
right in front, like I think
Then we can talk
raising
about
the
that on
prices
the
for the
map
prime spots
when
might
we
make a little more
review
sense.
them.
Yeah, we can pick those
You
spots.
could do
Yeah.
like premium, regular, economy, or, you know, like 3 tiers.
Yeah.
Economy, yeah.
I
Those
mean,
are the boony ones.
Yeah.
because,
Sort
you
of
know, when
charge you for a carry-on.
when you're paying for a
Spot.
spot and you're paying the
Boonies
same
spot.
amount for like out in the boonies and somebody's got a prime spot that's paid the same amount, it kind of.
Yeah, I agree.
So what would be your fee recommendations for a economy?
I mean, you can start economy.
Like
so that's
200,
where you-
250, 300?
Yeah, where you want to pull from is what I mean, you can you could say economies 250 and then go up
Okay.
from there.
Premium.
Yeah.
Or you can start at 200 and go up from there.
I was just thinking like regular vendor, I was like, so that's standard, 250, economy is less, 200,
Okay.
Yeah,
premium
well, they're
is
Yeah,
more,
limited to
300.
250, so why not make that your baseline?
Okay.
And then go up for the premium,
Or
and
go
then go
up.
on down.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
start
I
with
think that's
253,
250, they're each paying that,
350.
so make that the regular one, and then for a premium spot, 275, 300, whatever.
So for food, because we're gonna have to meet fire and they're really kind of only a specific spot form, are y'all okay if food doesn't fall into that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
those just other
Because
vendors.
they're dictate, you
Yeah, I
dictate where
kinda
they can
have to,
go.
yeah.
So that's, they get what they
Okay,
get.
cool, I like this.
People
Is-
generally
is
seek
beer
out
gonna
the
fill-
food anyway up for.
Is beer gonna fall into that, or is it, are
Do
you
y'all wanna
considering
make a
that?
recommendation for beer?
Well, I mean, if I was gonna do a beer booth, I'd either wanna be by the main stage.
It's already more
So
expensive.
those are already
Just-
dictated spots
It's more
for beer,
expensive
which is
already,
funny.
and like as a committee, we want
Want
to
the
make
beer
that
to be in a good
convenient
spot.
to the
So right now,
attendees
beer is
anyway, so I
in-
think that's a default. so-
Yeah, I think so too.
Obviously Rotary did theirs. I'm gonna get one of these mouses to work. Rotary's is here, and then they did a second one, and it was like right here. And then Friends of Paws was right here. So there's that big picnic area here. There was like a little kid section here, and then all the big carnival rides. And then now I have to think we're gonna have way more carnival rides this year, and they're gonna be a lot larger. So the traffic in this area is gonna be crazy anyways. My thought too was maybe asking if Rotary would be comfortable in putting their beer booth like over here,
Instead of the big tent?
instead
you
of
mean?
like right here. No, so they're
Oh, you're
always gonna
talking about
have,
the corner.
because they also do food, so they
Yeah,
do
they
the
do the
rods
rods
and they
and
use
stuff.
those grills.
Okay.
So they're
I think
there.
that's still moving them over.
That's kinda
to
what
the
I
right-
mean, maybe
Still
like
a good
Big one
spot.
there.
There used to
That
be
one
one
right there.
over there,
That
and
was,
then I think they requested to change it, and then they requested this year to go back. So the thought is to maybe move them back over here, and then it's like a 3-way.
So
You're
the
hitting all the
Lions,
spots.
the
Yeah, spread
Lions
'em out.
Club also have beer, right?
Not last year, so they actually bowed out. They're no longer. So now we have a nonprofit spot
Like
open.
they bowed out, we didn't kick
Who's
them.
that?
No, they bowed out.
Okay.
Who's that?
Lions Club.
It wasn't us.
The Lions Club had a booth that was kind of over
It-
by the pavilion
Yeah.
that was near the carnival rides, and then they had
Yeah.
one that was kind of when you came into the gate.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe we try to do one near the gate this year, and kind of see. So we'll have those beer vendor applications open, and then I'll bring you the nonprofits that apply.
But there's nothing toward the
Pavilion?
yeah.
Yeah, towards that.
towards
side.
that one. No,
'Cause
because that's
later
on
in
the
the-
free side of the
Yeah.
Oh.
on the park. So that's kind of, I think Melissa's thought is to move that entertainment kind of on both sides.
The pavilion is good though. I would put a beer booth
Shucks.
over there if we have bands in the pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you can't do it because it's not an entrance yet, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the free
there's nothing
side.
over there, so then it's
See.
not, it doesn't fall between the gates,
do you
and then
mean?
there's no
So the-
security.
Unless we
So
extend
from
the
that,
gates.
from the
From the
bridge right there,
Gilliland
that's the
parking
free. Yeah,
parking lot.
that's the
Yeah,
free side.
and you
So
can't have the beer in the free area.
Because
So
we
where
gated
does
it
the
at
free
night.
Just put
area
the-
end?
The beer
So
and
it's
right
not on
on
the
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 side, I
bridges.
picked the wrong map to show y'all, hold on, let's see. Oh, here we go, there we go, let me zoom in then, so we can all see it. There we go, this one's way better. So this is a free area, so there's that, this is Gillen Creek, and we had all of our ADA parking. Then there's that big pavilion here, and there's like a small playground, and then once you go past that pavilion, that's where the gate is to enter the event. So we don't gate anything up here, we do all of our fencing here and
Can we
back.
not move that
So the
on
issue,
the other side of the pavilion?
there's just a lot of access points.
Yeah.
All of that's open, so there's not really any security for like that overnight because all of our vendors leave everything overnight.
No.
So then you're looking at increasing
security.
security.
The gates, right?
gates.
The temporary gates
Yeah,
and all that.
so it does start to get a little tricky if you move it. So I think that's why, I don't know if she's gonna make the recommendation to move all of her entertainment back to the pavilion or if she's gonna do both. The thing is, I think kind of like we said, like vendors find this as undesirable. I don't know that we can ask a beer vendor. I don't know if they drive
we can talk about
traffic.
we can talk about it too. We just
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Like I don't
find
want
other
to.
things to drive
Could-
traffic that way.
Could they do it like baseball style, where they got like they're walking around?
with the buckets.
They're
Yelling
walking
cold beer.
around with
Heck
beers.
yeah, I like that.
I don't know if they have a staff, but yeah, this is not.
With the backpack-
This is not my
backpack
original
case.
page.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, he's getting it.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Nathan. Just, I'm keeping you alert and awake. I think maybe like, what if we talk to them maybe about like one of these corner spots? It's just a thought. So it's something, yeah, Miriam, we can discuss and then you can kind of bring that out back
Okay.
as your update.
We can just yeah.
But like Kelly, I think that's a great, or
Maybe we
sorry.
throw a caricaturist down there as well to just draw some people.
Well, yeah, so the
Like,
petting zoo is
little
down
things like
here.
that.
And then my thought too is like we don't do enough signage yet for that. So my thought is like you walk in and it's like petting zoo is this way, pavilion this way. Like we don't do a whole lot of on-site signage for you to know. And then last year was the first year we did like schedules, but we only really did that at the main gate. So like you only saw really what was at the main gate. I want to do those. I want to just bombard you with cool signage.
Yes.
Well, that will help. The signage will
That's what I
help,
think.
too.
I think it'll definitely help. I don't know that enough people knew to go down there. We had a lot of ADA entrance users. I mean, honestly, that was well used. But that gate, it's kind of a funny one. We had got a decent amount over here, but I think most people take the shuttles, so then therefore they come in the front. So just getting people to understand where everything is, I think is huge. And now we can do that on promotion too. We didn't really do that last year. I'm like, hey, come here. We could even look into do some kind of video, maybe like a walkthrough of like Instagram, like be sure to check out this gazebo. Like week of, could do stories. We could do a few different things, I think, to help with that. But just so you're all, let me go back to where we were.
So like Amy was saying, is there like an option where you could, I mean, I like that idea where they walk around like at a baseball game
Yeah.
or a beer trough set up next to the big pavilion where the music's gonna
Yeah,
be. 'Cause
I
at night,
think-
Yeah.
I know.
Once we have our beer
Somebody's
vendors,
gonna want a beer.
I think Miriam, like we could
Yeah.
discuss like, hey, we'd love to try this out, this option.
Well, honestly, so I was a volunteer last year, and me and one other person, we were bringing beer to the music people.
Mhm.
So if there is
Yeah, a
some
lot of
kind
them
of
go-
waitress, like in their
Like,
German
yeah,
beer, you know,
I
bringing
think let's
beer.
ask Rotary
That'd
and
be
whichever
great.
nonprofit we get this year, kind of options. Like you said, like maybe they could even do some temporary, just pop
Well,
up areas.
Yeah.
So there are always nonprofits looking for fundraisers. So maybe we could, like for the waiter service or whatever, like for that kind of service
Like
to
looking for the
pavilion,
volunteers for that.
where they get some portion of the beer that they sell. I don't know.
I think it'd have to be something we'd work out with, or Rotary would have to work out, or the nonprofit would have to work out.
As far as,
Like if we did if they did like a profit share with Rotary, that'd be Rotary's decision, because we don't take any profits from their beer sales.
It's like a private thing.
Yeah, it's a private thing.
Yeah.
oh yeah, because
wouldn't
they're
wanna
the
share
only
my
beer
money.
They're
vendors,
the only beer vendors.
and
So
that's a
it's
promise we
two
made them?
nonprofits.
Or-
It's a council decision
Yeah.
to do two partnerships, nonprofits. It used to be always Rotary Lions, now it is Rotary and Lions spelled out, so there's one spot. So last year it was Friends of Paws, and this year it'll be whatever nonprofit applies.
But the city council picks that.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 spots, or there's a possibility for a third spot.
We've never done a third spot. I don't.
Because if you wanted to do a pop-up, there's not gonna be a whole lot of traffic toward the big stage until later in the evening. So if you wanted to do like a pop-up type of thing, where somebody has the opportunity
Just
to
for that side of the park.
to do that side of the park, only for a couple hours. 'Cause I know my group would probably wanna do that, because I don't know if we have enough people to staff it, a booth like all day and all night. But we could do like, how many hours at night with the Ronald McDonald House, which they've already said we already work with them, so they,
Submit, okay. We can find the nonprofits who'd be willing to do
Yeah.
that.
Let me take this to my event subcommittee, which is council, and I'll bring this back to y'all.
Yeah.
Just because I have to let
Because
them-
it would make that side of the festival more desirable for whoever gets put on that side, and it would allow us to provide a better audience if we get some good band. I mean, there's so many good bands we could get, and if that pavilion is big enough, we could have a little bit bigger band. If we get them the audience,
and make it convenient for everybody that's
Yeah.
going to see them, because
Yeah,
that's the next
definitely.
thing. You wanna make everybody have a good time.
Yeah.
I still
Make
think
it
you need more
convenient.
food and closer to that area though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's very unbalanced, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all on one side, and that's why most people stick around that area,
Yeah.
right? Because the trees are over there and all that. So I like the conversation about having beverages over there, but I still think you need some
Some
type of
food,
food
too.
towards that side, and hey, maybe you make it
trying
enticing
to
for
go
vendors to
where-
be over there, you know?
You could do pretzels on a
Yeah,
stick that
maybe-
you can walk
You'd
around
have
to-
with,
Like snack
cotton
food.
candy, fair stuff like
Pizza.
that.
Like prepackaged stuff, you
Yeah.
could do that,
Yeah.
you know? But towards
Yeah, just
towards
'cause
the
I
end.
can't I don't know how many open flames I can fit over there. Or
Okay.
generators, because that
I'm
whole
kind of
thing
making
is-
a list so we
is
can talk about
trees.
it too.
And then I have to have 20 on both sides of each food truck. So, yeah, let's look into options, but maybe we find something that doesn't.
This side, yeah, the side where your cursor
Ah.
is, that doesn't have as many trees.
No, this side doesn't.
Yeah.
This side does, and this side kind of gets a little wonky.
Thinned out a bit from last
I mean, that
year.
gives us some good stuff to talk about in our meeting
Yeah,
too.
definitely. Cool.
And then you got the children, like if we do the petting zoo again in that same area, well now the kids are like, yeah, buy me cotton candy and
There
those
you go,
prepackaged
see?
stuff. So
I think you could definitely do like snow cones over there,
Yeah.
those type of things. I'm trying to think of like what trucks I can fit over there. I'm trying to think, guys. And I think we had 13 food vendors last year.
But you want adults. You want to attract adults over there. The bands are going to want adults watching them, not just kids. I mean, we want to make it fun for the kids, but the entertainment bands and stuff are going to care more about the adults.
Could be helpful for parents that are taking their kids over there. It's like, okay, well maybe I do
Yeah.
want to hang out here with my kids because
Yeah, because there's stuff for both of them to do. Yeah.
Cool. All right, we'll look into that.
Okay.
All right, wait, let me go back to the fees. Okay. So we have beer booths, I'll take and I'll bring back to y'all. Fees for regular vendors, we're gonna do economy, standard, and premium. Economy 250, standard 300, premium 350. We're good with all that?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, do y'all wanna make a motion on vendor fees by themselves, and then we'll make omissions on admissions prices?
I make a motion to accept the vendor fees as listed there, with the exception of the regular vendors to be 250 economy, 300 standard, and 350 premium. Did I word that correctly?
Yes. Okay.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so motion carries.
Okay, admissions prices. So kids 6 and under are free and city employees were free. Last year, the committee decided anyone in German attire was also free. That could be something you could bring up at an additional meeting if that's something y'all want to see as a committee for last year or for this year. Friday, our hours are 5 p.m. to midnight and tickets were $7. Saturday was 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and those were $10. Adult shirts were 12 to 14 and children's shirts were 10. We sold out of adult shirts pretty early. We sold out of medium and large, probably by early afternoon on the adult side. And then by the end of the night, I think we were pretty much sold out of all shirts Saturday evening. So my thought is we'll increase the amount of shirts we offer this year. Shirts have gotten incredibly expensive as well. So,
Was there still a demand for shirts that late?
yes,
Around?
yeah, which was
I
really
have a-
funny, yeah.
I have a question though. I don't know if you have statistics on this, but that would be the very first year ever that the t-shirt cost more than the combined
Admission.
2
Yeah.
days of admission.
Not wrong. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring it to y'all.
I only ever bought the shirt so I could get in
Right, I think that's
all,
why most
like
people
all
do.
days. So if most people are buying the shirt just so they can save on the admission fees, we might end up with a whole lot of shirts if we price them
That's a good.
higher.
That's a good point.
Let me
Yeah, I think
find-
that would be determined.
Increase admission.
I was like, that was,
Still
I
deal.
wouldn't mind doing that.
That's kind of my
I wouldn't
thought.
mind increasing, make it $10 Friday night, $15 Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, we
And
know
then
t-shirts,
still
we
sell
know
the
t-shirts are
shirts
more
for
expensive,
20.
right? Everything's more expensive.
Yeah, and that's true.
Inflation,
Everything
all that,
is
so.
more expensive. You're
Well, and
paying
we're
more
adding-
for everything across the board, so it's
Right.
not unreasonable, I don't think it'd be unreasonable to raise the prices
Right.
across
Yeah,
the board.
I
Especially with the
think,
carnival rides.
Yeah, and we're adding so many additional
Yeah, so-
carnival rides this year.
That's
That's
a big
a
one.
So,
steal,
yeah, I mean, like you
basically,
said,
for
like,
the
Right.
whole
$10
Yes.
Friday,
Atmosphere of the event.
15
15
Saturday.
Saturday.
Like, think about it, that's
And
a,
then-
that's
yeah.
a, like a carnival wristband at other places for just a carnival, right?
$20.
Yeah,
So,
and then the shirts for 20 would still be reasonable.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because
So
they'd still
Friday-
save you for both
10, Saturday
15.
15.
15, and then shirts. We're good with the
20.
20 and then
Yeah.
14
Children's
for kids.
14.
yeah. And that's the other thing to keep in mind is kids 6 and under are getting in free, so, I mean, that's a big
That's
portion
big,
of your
yes.
admission too.
Yeah.
We want to make it, like, but if you make the children's shirts really fun, maybe you
Yeah,
still get some
we
money.
get a good
out
amount
of
of
them.
people who still buy the children's shirts.
Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah, I buy them for my kids.
Yeah, can we get maybe like a size or two smaller than what we've had previously?
For youth,
For
They
youth?
run big,
Yeah,
yeah.
what is smaller than a small? Extra small?
Excess, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or toddler
Oh.
T sizes.
Yeah, they also
Yeah,
have like
even toddler
2
sizes,
T's, 3
yeah.
T's, and then I think from there
Because
it goes
then,
excess.
I mean, this is the business person in me, but then you're collecting money from people who otherwise are getting
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
what?
there you go.
Kids
Otherwise
getting
we're
money, that
getting
is true.
like
'Cause-
6 and unders.
Because the kids 6 and under are free, so if they're still buying a shirt,
At
you're
least
still
get
getting
them to
money
buy a
even though they
t-shirt.
are free. So that's like a good.
So yeah, because
a good win. That's a good way to look at
It's
that.
a win-win on both
Yeah.
sides.
Was
Because
the
then
shirt
they're getting-
design the same for both the kids
Yes.
and the adults last year?
Last year,
Could
yes.
they be
That was the
different?
first year we did that, wasn't it?
Because if
It
it was a
was.
really cool kid design,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
Well, why don't we make
sell
that the
more
art
kid
contest?
shirts.
Like,
Well, that was
here you
the-
can design our kids'
Yes.
t-shirt.
That was the
Kids
ghost,
shirt.
right?
Yeah.
It was the ghost.
No, there was a
Those
fun
are
run
running
shirt.
shirts.
Oh, the
So
fun
those
run
are different
shirt.
too.
Yeah, yeah,
Our
yeah.
fun run shirts are different.
Yeah.
than-
Yeah.
Okay, so t-shirt design could be the kids, could be the community one.
Yeah.
Okay. I like this. Look at us, we're all so
Yeah,
collaborative.
because the extra small shirts are usually tend to be like a 6X, so theoretically they're for kids who are 6 years old.
Yeah.
So
the
if you go
toddler
in
sizes.
back down to the toddler sizes, then
We can
you're
do that.
And
I
maybe
never
that
thought
shirt
that.
would just
Yeah.
be 10. Maybe toddler shirts are 10.
Okay, okay.
If they cost us
Yeah,
less.
depending on what they cost.
Perfect. I have it. Yeah, I'll start getting quotes just on shirts.
Because like my son, last year he was like, he's a big 2-year-old, or was a big 2-year-old at the time, and that shirt was swallowed him. So
I don't ever think about Todd. You're absolutely right. I don't have kids though, so this is why we chat.
Yeah, but, and that's probably the most common size that like people might bring as a gift for
Right.
relatives or, you know.
Or
that's
they
the
bring,
small
or they bring
ones, that's
people
what-
like, hey, you know, they're from
Yeah.
out of town or
Yeah.
something, and they'll
Yeah.
start buying shirts.
And that's a souvenir for them
It's
to
tourism.
come.
We
Yeah.
love that.
You don't have it listed, but the fun people wearing the fun run t-shirts got in free also.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Last year.
Yes.
Do you recall what we were asking for the fun run? For people, the entry fee for the fun run?
35. I think it went 25 to 45. So we did levels.
Okay, so then
yeah,
now-
they
So we
Based
can
on
bring
when
that
you
in
signed up.
June since we're not going to open registration for Fun Run until July.
So we'll talk about that next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we have some time on that one. But yeah, Fun Run shirts also got you in. So it was
Yeah.
Fun Run shirts if you were dressed in German attire, but it had to meet like our regulations, which we made signage for. I don't know how many people, probably got a good handful. I saw some cute lederhosens. And then it's the city employees, and then it was kids 6 and under.
Okay.
Well, the thoughts were this year to do some kind of ticketing system, and I'm going to try to look with Eventbrite. That way we can track those. So whether we're doing some kind of, I mean, you're walking in, your kid is 6, and we're letting you go through the gate, but I don't know how many of you are actually coming. So I'm going to look at something maybe on our end. That way we could see how many kids 6 and under are getting in for free, and that way we can add that to the admissions or overall attendance. Sometimes that's always just a little guess.
So you're saying you can track people coming in with the fun run shirt or something?
Yeah, so I'd like to do- yeah, I'd like to
Or people that
add
came in
something.
free wearing the German
Yeah.
attire? That would be awesome.
Yeah,
That
you
way we
just,
could actually see those numbers.
That
yeah,
would be
you
great,
have more
yes.
metrics to decide by for the future.
I will add that to my Eventbrite list. Cool. Do we have a recommendation on admissions prices?
I thought we said that already.
Uh,
Do you have to make a motion?
Yeah,
No.
someone has to make a motion.
General
I don't
admissions.
think I can, so.
I'll make a motion to do Fridays 10, Saturdays 15. And then
And
the
shirts.
shirts will, are we gonna touch base with that next time, or are we still gonna do shirts?
No, we can
20?
do shirts for this, and then we'll touch base on Fun Run prices
Yeah,
next
later.
time.
And then shirts 20. And children's shirts 14.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries.
Awesome.
All right. 5C, discuss and consider action on future agenda items.
Okay, well, I would also like to add, like we did last year, people could get in free if they're wearing traditional German garb.
And we already have all the videos and
Yeah, you
pictures
know,
for
like,
that.
they had a lot of
so
signage, they had a really cool video, and I'm sure I can get that same couple to do
Yeah.
another video for us this year. And I think it was a hit last year, there were quite a few
No, I think it
people
was awesome.
Yeah,
came in.
people had fun.
They liked getting in free, they were gonna wear it anyway, and they liked getting in free, and I gave it a little more flair to our German theme
Yeah.
festival, and I think it was a really neat thing, it was cool to see.
Yeah.
Some really fabulous outfits too,
Yeah.
it's for people to get in free, wearing the German theme
So you're
attire.
putting that for future
And then
consideration?
y'all will vote
Okay.
on it.
Yeah.
Yes, for future, yeah, agenda items, vote on that.
I also had the last meeting on the wrong date on my calendar, so I missed it, and I missed the ADA discussion. But it looks like we haven't decided anything on it, or?
We haven't. I looked into, we talked about parking options, so I looked into Rotary to add that as an additional. It'd be 2,800 for the parking lot for 2 days. But the thought is also to add in an additional ADA shuttle. We've only ever done one ADA shuttle. So on our after action report, it was already listed as a recommendation for this year. So we would do 2 regular and 2 ADA. I think that will also help with the crowds that we
So
saw.
what's the 2,800?
To rent their parking lot, the Lions Club parking lot, so that way we had a second
Oh.
ADA parking
Oh, oh, oh.
location.
Okay.
But this year too, we didn't do fetch ride last year as, it was very last minute that we added it in, and so this year I think that fetch ride, they offer an ADA, option. And so I think the thought is to, like, we start promoting it as options of ways to get to the festival. It has a separate drop-off location, which is easier, doesn't have to worry about all of the shuttle traffic. They don't have to go get on a shuttle if they don't want to, but they could take our Fetch a Ride into our event. And then that would be free. So that's what we did last year. It's free, and we did it for Slice as well.
But
So they
otherwise,
had options.
that front parking lot is supposed to be ADA or no?
So no, PD shut that down because you can't have almost every person walks into our festival that way. So we couldn't have cars coming in and out of that gate and all of our pedestrians. So last year we changed that.
So that's why we put it at Gilliland, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we added at Gilland a golf cart shuttle. That way it was extra.
Okay.
But this year too, the thought is we'll use Fetch a Ride as a program to kind of help anyone who doesn't want to take a shuttle, and then we'll add an additional shuttle to kind of help meet extra needs.
I think like the toughest people are the ones who use wheelchairs.
So Fetch a
the
Ride, they
shuttle
actually
has
have,
to-
yeah, so our shuttle will, and then our shuttle we have now does it, but Fetch a Ride also, they partnered with Miri, I'm gonna say it wrong, I don't know what the name is, to be honest, I don't wanna say it. But they offer an ADA, so the van is fully accessible. It'll come pick you up and it'll drop you off. For your wheelchair, it'll fit all of that.
I don't know if this falls into the scope of our committee, but for the shuttle drop off, I'd be remiss if I don't bring it up because this actually happened the day after Deutschen Pfest ended, and a few of the neighbors were just outside and were kind of looking around, and one of the neighbors up the street on Rolling Meadow and City Park, I guess, was very angry about the drop off. People were like laying in his yard and stuff.
Uber's got, yeah. So we
Yeah, and I
caution
think there was
taped it.
some
There was. I know exactly what you're talking
disturbance.
Or the
Okay.
corner right there.
Yeah.
David?
about. So our public works cautioned it, and we'll do the same thing this year.
That's what I was just gonna bring
Yeah.
up if we could.
It's on our after action.
Okay, got it.
Gotcha. But
Yep.
so Fetch a Ride was brand new too, so we've changed Fetch a Ride location. So it'll actually tell your Uber, hey, you need to drop off on this location.
Gotcha.
So that'll actually be on the other, they'll have a separate location they'll drop off, so that way it won't hit the shuttles. 'Cause there was people getting out of the cars and walking, there were shuttles also coming, so I think there's a traffic jam and a lot of people were using his grass.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, if you
I know
wanted
exactly what
to,
you're talking about.
you could also tell them, like the guy right on the corner of the entrance. maybe
He does it. He
Every
just lives
year
his
he would
life.
put
Talking
out some
about
stakes
David?
with
Yeah.
David, yeah.
like
Yeah,
cop
I
tape
face
or
his
whatever
house, so.
to block all the way so people aren't cutting across his yard. They might
Yeah.
encourage them to do that also.
But then
So
he
what I-
also attends the event for free because he comes.
So one thing I will say to that is David owns his home. I believe the people on the corner, they rent their home, so different kind of situation. But yeah, he came over and he was really nice about it. But he's like, hey, I saw you at the festival and all that stuff, and I was like, well, no, I'll push the word out. But
Yeah,
yeah, but I just
Yeah,
can't
no,
put
we
people's
caught it
lines in
at the
your yard.
very end last year. He talked to our public works guys, so our public
Gotcha.
works guys put stakes, cautioned it for him.
Got it.
But I think it was already
tough.
Saturday evening.
yeah,
So a
his
little
ideal
late,
one was
but
move it somewhere else. I'm like, we gotta put the drop off.
there's
somewhere.
nowhere. It's in
Yeah.
the middle of a park. Yeah, that is the toughest thing.
Yeah, Stanley people.
We are hidden in that little. Yeah, we're hit by neighborhood.
I have no
Sorry.
problem, you guys, the shuttle dropping off in front of my house too, and they can just pull back out.
Pull back on
Yeah,
Railway,
so
or that's Valley.
Where's your
Railway.
house?
it's
Yeah,
right in front
it
of the
would- Yeah, it
entrance.
would turn from
Oh, it's there too.
Park,
Oh.
Yeah, it's-
whatever to
so-
Valley
Yeah, so I
Meadow.
think now
What he
the
was talking about, I live
instead
on
of
the other side of
Valley.
the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like from David's.
So
House,
David,
yeah.
and then I'm on this side of the street.
Okay.
Yeah. So if they drop off there, and I remember they put that
Put a barrier.
canopy in my
Yeah.
front yard too when they were trying to like direct people, because that's the other thing too is you want to catch them early enough to where you can direct them up the.
To the shuttle.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we do the same thing with the shuttle.
Yeah, let me talk to PD. I don't know why they made the recommendation to move to Rolling Meadows instead of Valley Meadow,
And,
but I
and that
will
was
ask.
the feedback that I got from a lot of people that they had to walk further
Yeah.
than before where you used to
2
drop
blocks.
off. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll ask and we'll bring it up. I have a logistics meeting with PD for the event in middle of September, or not September, middle of next month, so I will bring this one up.
Sorry to throw a tangent.
No, you're good. No, it's
No,
something we noticed too,
it needed
so
to be
we
said.
definitely want to address.
I mean, if somebody's saying something about it, we should talk about it.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that his feedback, everybody's feedback gets voiced.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Cool. Anything else y'all want to discuss?
I would like to see on the beer stein competition, have a separate girls division, separate the girls from the guys. There's no way that the ladies are beating the guys on that.
How do you feel about a kids one too?
Yeah.
Because
That'd be
I
Beer
saw really
stein,
cute.
kids
So it's
holding
the
a beer
plastic
stein?
ones they hold, but they hold them with water.
It's a little, the little, they have the little red ones too, the little
That's
tiny
like we
ones.
gave away last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we gave away the plastic red stuff.
I know, but there seemed to be like in the past a connotation about, beer steins being on the kid's shirt. So what about kid, so now you can have a kid holding a beer stein for a.
It's got water in it.
I think
Oh,
it's
wow.
fun.
Still, I mean, is everybody cool with that? I just wondered.
It's voluntary, you sign up for it if you wanna,
course.
if you wanna join,
Just a thought.
I don't mind
They can
it.
hold a cup. Well, I'm just thinking because it has a handle, so that's the only reason I like it.
Yeah.
Where you can
I mean,
rename
we
it.
can have other contests for, like different contests for kids.
I'm not against it. I'm
To
just
me,
kinda- I'm
that's
just
an
throwing-
adult
I-
thing, but I
you
do
can-
think
Yeah, no, I-
separating the
Devil's
men and
advocate
women.
on that. How's
Yeah.
that, that can have any pushback on
You'll
that?
definitely have some.
You will have
I
some
bet we will.
pushback,
It's a
yeah.
fun thing. People
Yeah.
are excited. It was
'Cause
a
I
great,
know-
fun contest. I'd like to see, a women. have
Yeah,
their own venue, so
separating men and
a woman
women,
would
I
get a,
think.
first
Yeah.
place too, because they're not beating the men in that. There's.
Yeah.
So.
I think
We
Throw a-
might
throw a
for
senior
the,
division in there too.
so.
senior.
Yeah.
For the beer stein competition, we might want maybe more, depending on how accurate we want the results to be, we might want more people
More
watching.
judges.
Yes.
That is hard to get, Amy. Hard to get. We're pushing volunteers till like the day before the event.
Yeah, I was watching. I was trying to be proactive. Hey,
Yeah, no, it's hard, but,
a lot of people said he just had like, 2 people per table, one on each end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On each table.
I'll look at how many
And then
offered
the
judge
MC,
spots we
MC's
offered last
overlooking.
year.
He's
Yeah.
been very proactive on that. So.
Judge spots. I'm just too busy laughing at everybody.
Oh, that's a
Best
blast.
guy.
That is so fun.
That and the pretzel eating contest was really fun. I think 13
That
was
one
the
was
winner
fun.
last year.
13 pretzels.
13 pretzels. Pretty good.
So many.
But we bought so many because I was like, I don't know, what if people eat? Because people would eat jalapenos. Crazy enough, they would make it to like the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
Oh,
are
yeah.
really
They were-
good at that
they were
competition.
pounding. And another thing I'd like to suggest, if it's possible, maybe you can find a vendor to sell German-style attire. Like the hats, the lederhosen.
Yeah, I want to get
Like
more
flowers
variety.
That's
of
what Miriam is
things.
here for.
Like a, I don't know what you call it, but like some kind of
Oh,
gel
yeah, and-
flowers in it. They're very popular. I've seen those at other festivals. German-style festival, you can find somebody selling that
We
stuff.
have been talking about that
I
forever.
found one.
She found one.
I went to Pecan Street and I saw a guy walking around. I chased that man. I was like, "Can I have your info, please?"
Oh,
So
that's
I
good
got
for you.
it. We got
See,
someone.
you're way ahead of me.
And we've reached out to some pretzel vendors
I think that'd be cool.
too.
Yeah, and the pretzel vendor.
To see some interest. Typhoon did their brew fest and they apparently did pretzels on a necklace. So we have a July 4th meeting. I'm going to talk to them about if maybe they want to be a pretzel vendor. They participated in our bite contest at Slice and they won, which was really cool. So I know they are doing their patio, their restaurant. They're trying to promote it and get it out there. So I thought maybe like if they would be wanting to be maybe our pretzel vendor. We have a hard time finding vendors that want to do that. So it's something I'm going to throw out there to them and see if they have any interest.
Cool.
Because
Well, I
everybody
think
told
we-
me their pretzels were really cool on the necklace.
We need
That
to
sounds
like
awesome.
get ahead of it too, and like anybody who can't do it this year, get them on the schedule for next year already.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
It's a very tight time frame.
I feel like I
Yeah.
heard several residents be like, complain about the pretzels, and I was like, we couldn't find
Council
vendors,
complaints, and
and
I'm
then
like-
then be like, oh, well then I'll just do it next. And I was like, yes, get
I will
everything
hold you to
ready.
that,
They
That
didn't
is-
complain when we gave all the pretzels, the leftover
Well,
pretzels.
we-
I know.
Yeah, I know, we're giving them
That's
away.
pretty
cool.
That's what's funny.
Yeah, we're giving those
We
away.
give a
thought
lot
about
away.
maybe
Yeah.
asking if our beer vendors would be interested in doing something like that.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
cool.
Yeah.
Was something we discussed internally, but I would like to find somebody, and if not, then ask them to take on that responsibility. Cool. What else would we like to discuss? I'll bring back entertainment, that way Melissa can chat about that. You'll all kind of have homework too, so I feel like we're gonna start moving away from necessarily agenda items, and y'all will all have your items to tell me about.
Are we doing the same, that outer track where the golf carts were running between? That's all staying the same?
I think that's a cop thing.
I think the thought
Oh,
is to
that's
put it
PD
all the way back,
enforced?
yeah.
Okay, got it.
So at majority of our events, once an event starts, we don't allow motorized vehicles.
Right.
So the thought is, well, it's a huge help for Boy Scouts too. They do their ice that way.
Yep.
And then our wait staff leaves it. That's walking that way that'll get you.
Yeah. I was just wondering if there was any feedback on it or anything. Or if it
No,
worked
I think the
well.
thought is to
Yeah.
do it all the way around,
Yeah.
especially if we continue to kind of use the other side of the field too, do one towards that backside.
That's always kind of been there, hasn't it? It's always.
Yeah, it's just not been, we have never.
They haven't roped it off.
We've never
right?
roped it like
Yeah.
normal,
Okay.
just because it's, but we do have a bunch of new park staff this year, so I think it'll be good for them as well to kind of
Yeah.
know where we can and can't go. Cool. Nothing else?
That's all I have.
Is that good? Okay.
I mean, this is a good list. This was a good meeting. Glad we could all make it.
All right.
Cool.
So then, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. We are adjourned.